And we are live here on JCTV at Suzuka Circuit for the second stop in Japan in a row on this 3 week adventure, well, in Japan. And this should be a fun, exciting one. I I think this track is a pretty fun track, and I'm ready to see what these guys can do here. Aaron Smith is fastest in qualifying, and, well, I'm not surprised by that. But before we get any further, I'm Joshua Copperell. I'm joined by Adam Kuhn. Adam, how you doing?
Doing good, Josh. Excited for, like you mentioned, another race here in Japan for the Road and Plate Series. A lot of fun on the oval last week for our wild card round. Now back to the basics, but this track I think is far from it for these guys.
Yeah, this track, it is pretty wild. It's really hard to get a rhythm here because, I mean, there are so many times when you're just doing something. You're going right, you're going left. Just you don't really have much of a time to take a breather. This race, it's going to take a lot of discipline, and I'm pretty excited to see how this plays out throughout the night. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting lineup once it loads. And Aaron Smith will start on the pole. Dustin Bali is going to start in second. Third place, Tony Morano with Evan Hoopchak starting in fourth. Ryan Campbell will start fifth. Joseph Klein in sixth. Laura Wiseman in seventh. Sam Stoner will start eighth. Dan Ott will start ninth. And Johnny Rapp starting in the 10th position.
Aaron Bray lines up 11th with Chuck Labano to his outside. Andrew White starts in 13th with Jimmy Moore, on the outside of row 7. Sean Campbell and Tom Went share row 8. Sean Johnson is going to start in 17th with Brandon Carr to his outside. And that makes up our grid tonight for the sprint race.
So drivers still getting on the grid here tonight. And it's not going to be very long until they see the green flag, as they are using the short parade lap, or pace lap rather. So it'll just take a very short time to get their way around, and we'll see the green flag. It looks like Aaron Bray is going to start from the pits, as I see his name on the ticker in the pits, and I see his bubble over there as well.
Such a unique track here at Suzuka, Josh. Right now, you saw a pit lane that these guys drove past. Track is so long that there's two different versions of it. You got the East Course, the West Course, and then the combined circuit. And these guys are going to tackle the full layout tonight with these 87 Cup cars. It's going to be very hairy, especially through this corner right through here. This is one of the most notorious corners in open wheel racing, and I think it's going to be very exciting tonight with these heavy stock cars as they get ready to gear up for the chicane complex.
Yeah, so, man, I'm excited for this one. That pace car, it's making its way to the safety up pit road as Aaron Smith and Dustin Bali lead us to the green flag here at Suzuka. Barney the flagman has the green flag in hand, and he is waving it. We're green and underway here at Suzuka. Down here to a very tight turn 1. Everybody getting through it cleanly, and now through these crazy S's.
Yeah, turn 1's always a challenge at Suzuka, especially in stock cars. Saw that a lot when NASCAR raced too, but the S's I think might be more notorious. These guys doing a really good job getting through here clean.
I'm surprised he got single file. These drivers just taking it easy.
Oh, Bolly with a big lunge there. So we get ready to go underneath the bridge. I'm surprised with the way the field's keeping in here. It's obviously really early still, but everyone keeping it nice and tidy. Saw a lot of gravel off the road there from practice.
Just Klein, Laura Wiseman side by side. Klein's gonna get clear. Now Wiseman and Ott are side by side.
On the west side of the course right now, Josh. I feel like that corner they got through back there might be the hardest corner on this racetrack, at least for me, because it's just so deceiving. You never really know where the corner ends and you start getting ready to prepare for the straightaway. This is what I was looking forward to, seeing how far these guys were going to run through here. Looks like these guys up front able to keep it within track limits if this was Formula One.
Kind of laugh at that. You know, if this is Formula One, of course, track limits are crazy in Formula One. And these cars, I mean, they don't drive like open wheel race cars like Formula One. It's a lot tougher to power these things around.
Yeah, I really thought they were going to be going off there, kind of like we see the last two corners at Watkins Glen, but they're able to keep it in the racing lines there, which was really a surprise to me on the opening lap. We go back a little bit further in the field. 12th place runner, Jimmy Moore, just behind this battle for a top 10 spot. This is a battle for what would be the transfer.
Side by side between Johnny Rapp and Sam Stoner. Stoner's going to take the 10th position.
Yeah, Johnny Rapp was very vulnerable. They almost got, Jimmy Moore to the inside there. Let the 12 get in there, but Jimmy Moore thought better of it. Able to let Rapp keep that 11th position just for the time being.
Yeah, Johnny Rapp actually started this lap in 9th place. We saw very quickly fall down to 11th after getting passed by Sam Stoner there, but also Chuck Labano. Labano up to 9th position. Stoner was really wide.
I was just going to say we saw someone really wide. This is the corner I was talking about on the opening lap. That corner is so deceiving. In video games, it feels like it goes on forever. I can't imagine what it's like in a sim and iRacing, especially in, like you mentioned, the 87 cars. And that's what I was expecting tonight. Whoa, maybe extra.
Turn 6 at Watkins Glen is what that reminded me of.
That's exactly what I was expecting to see, except he might have pushed the limits there, kicking out the gravel. Just behind him, though, I saw Jimmy Moore peeking to the inside through the final corner. He's able to move into that 11th spot past Johnny Rapp.
Looks like a lot of drivers are just spread out. Everybody's trying to find their rhythm. Ryan Campbell up here in 5th place is closing in on Evan Hoopchak, I believe, ever so slightly. Hoopchak with a lockup. Chuck Labano and Laura Wiseman. Pretty close. I definitely feel like the battle is heating up between these two, Jack and Campbell.
Looks like Campbell was able to rotate the center a lot better there. That chicane, just getting through the corners a lot neater than the 7. He had a really good run on the last straightaway. See if he's able to do anything here down the front stretch. Keeping about the same as they head into 1.
That time by Evan Hoopchak was a little bit quicker than Ryan Campbell. But it's not much. These guys are pretty much even. Campbell doing a great job, however. Just slowly closing that gap. Notice the last 2 times through that hairpin, was that turn 11, that both these drivers kind of have had a different approach to it. And I think Campbell might be a little bit stronger on the exit.
I think the same can be said for the big spoon back there, that big sweeping corner they just left. Because every time they get to that last straightaway, they just ran through it. He has a big run at the end of it. And speaking of big spoon, we have issues back here in the field.
Aaron Bray, Sean Johnson, and Sean Campbell. Five and a half minutes left on the clock. Troubles for Andrew White, and it's going to be Sean Johnson.
Oh, look out, Brennan.
Oh my gosh!
He just got taken out.
Oh, man.
I'm going to assume there was contact there between White and Johnson into turn 1, because usually they don't go spinning like that in turn 1 by themselves. Oh, I will stand corrected.
So here's Andrew White.
Big ol' lockup with the brakes, it looks like. Oh, it was separate.
Here's Sean Johnson.
Oh, he was out of control way before he ended up spinning it. Just couldn't keep hanging it on. He was drifting through there. We have had a lot of drifts our 2 weeks in Japan so far, and this is unfortunate.
And both drivers have since towed to pit road. Both drove. Oh! Oh!
Kyle Busch not happy with Ron Hornaday.
I would say so. Troubles again for Andrew White. Oh my gosh, how did he avoid that wall?
Battle right at the transfer spot, Josh. Got Labano 8th, Wiseman 9th, Stoner 10th, so all these guys going to be starting at the front of the pack when we get to the feature here in just a few moments, but what order are they going to start in? That's what they're deciding right now.
How about this battle we've been watching? They were side by side. But Campbell
was a long way around there in the hairpin, not going to be able to do anything, but yeah, as you mentioning, Josh, he's got the better runoffs at these corners.
He's running out of time. Is Campbell, but
wow,
Jock goes wide.
Campbell is just so pinned there through, what is that, 12, 13? 13, 14. It's crazy, and it leads to a good run on the straightaway here. Wasn't able to execute down the straightaway this time. But still, a needle line through 15 there.
And the white flag is waving for race leader Aaron Smith. We are under a minute and a half left. It takes over 2 minutes to get around this track, so we are on the last lap. And we'll keep our eyes right here. Laura Wiseman has fallen back to 10th. Actually, these guys are so close to each other right now. Labano, Stoner, and Wiseman, which you already mentioned. This is battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Who's going to start first in the feature? Currently, it would be Laura Wiseman, with Stoner in second and Labano in third. Still plenty of track that could affect how these guys start.
Labano big time on the curb there. I think it's going to open up the door for Samuel Stoner. But as soon as I say that, he has an issue.
Oh, Stoner, big lockup. Here comes Wiseman. Wiseman taking a peek to the inside of Stoner. Stoner wide, right off of the grass. And Wiseman takes over 9th position.
Falling apart through turns 9, 10, and 11 for the 65. Going to bring him back to that 10th position, as you mentioned. And let Labano drive away. Maybe Laura Wiseman as well.
Coming into the final corner. it's going to be Aaron Smith taking the sprint race win. And how about this for battle for third? Something happened to Bali.
Wow, down to the wire.
Dustin Bali was in second place.
Looks like he missed the chicane here on the last lap.
Oh.
Oh, big rear lockup.
Oh my goodness.
And he didn't cut through it 100%. Wonder if that gave him a slowdown. But he did rejoin right behind those guys. So he might have been good on that, but that is crazy the way to lose it like that in the last corner, Josh.
Yeah, that helps his starting position a little bit, but hurts in points as well. So, what could have been a second place finish actually turned into a fifth place finish. So, not exactly what he was hoping for, but maybe he can get something out of it with the feature. But anyway, we have an interview to do. But before we do that, Palm Rat Golf delivers classic styles in a modern fit that allow you to move seamlessly from the office to the course to hanging with friends and family. Visit palmratgolf.com today to browse their collection of fine golf apparel, including polos, pullovers, pants, and more. Let's go ahead and talk to our sprint race winner, Aaron Smith. And Adam, I'll let you take this one.
Hey, Aaron, it's the guys in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I've got you.
Oh, it looked like another Sunday drive for you out there. How was it behind the wheel of the number 70 here at Suzuka?
Yeah, felt pretty good. The car was smooth. You really had to stay on line, just run the car as slowly as you could without scrubbing off too much speed. And I think I got that down to a T that time by. I wasn't expecting it to go that well, but I'll take it.
This track's so notorious for open wheel cars getting around here. What's it like with these big, heavy monsters of the 87 Cup cars?
Yeah, it's really difficult to get those shifts down, but as long as you can do that and keep the car rolling through the corners, just in like as low of an RPM as you can get it, you can keep it on the pavement. But once you find that line, that's about 90% of the battle. So if you can do that much, you're going to be pretty competitive here once the invert plays into it.
Mentioned the invert. We've mentioned this before quite often in these interviews with you, Aaron. What's it going to be like tonight? Such a narrow track here.
It's going to be terrifying. I'm probably going to overstep a braking point and run somebody over, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I've had a good record with that, so hopefully I'll be able to keep it up.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see that. Good luck to you in the future.
10-4, thank you.
At least he's honest.
Yeah, that is true. We have seen that happen quite a bunch this season and the tail end of last season with other drivers, not named Aaron Smith, but you know, like I mentioned, with this being a very tight, narrow circuit, not a lot of room to run off A and B places to hide. This could get very hairy with this invert, but I think it will be fun to see. I think it's going to be competitive with all the guys we got in the top 10 tonight.
Oh yeah, I am excited to see how it's gonna go with the invert. It always is exciting to watch as fans. I know I've mentioned it before. You know, if I'm out there and I win the sprint race, I think I'd be a little frustrated or terrified to have to start in 10th. You know, in the feature, but you know, at the same time, these guys are so good. They all finish in the top 10 for a reason. And it's so exciting watching Aaron Smith and really whoever it is try to drive back up towards the front. Or maybe drivers that benefit from the invert who are up front, like Laura Wiseman and Sam Stoner are now. could make for some different strategy, or maybe a surprise winner. Um, so based off the invert, we do have Laura Wiseman starting first, Sam Stoner in second, Chuck Labano in third, Dan Ott will start fourth, Joseph Klein in fifth, Dustin Bally sixth, Ryan Campbell seventh, Evan Hoopjack eighth, Tony Morano ninth, and Aaron Smith will start in 10th. 11th on down to 18th all start where they finished in the sprint race. So drivers are getting on the grid, and I did not ask this in the feature, but I'm going to ask it for, or I'm sorry, in the sprint race. I'm going to ask it for the feature. Who is your pick to win?
You mentioned those guys starting up front with the invert, might take advantage of it. You got the camera pointed directly at him. I'm picking the 65 Samuel Stoner. We've seen him be a contender previously on these road races. I was kind of surprised to see him back there at the start of tonight's event.
That is a great pick, actually. I really like that pick. Kind of surprised you went with Stoner. I'm going to... This pick has not worked out for me once, but I'm going to pick him anyway. And I'm going to go with a guy that is going to start in the middle of the top 10. He was running second until those last couple of corners, ultimately finishing in fifth in the sprint race. But Dustin Bally, he is really, really fast on these road courses, and he knows how to get it done. It's just the executing that has really been a struggle, I feel like, for him. And I think tonight could be the night. Watch for Dustin Bally to be running up front. Still waiting on one driver to grid, Tony Morano. I say that he's now on the grid, so 13 seconds just left on the timer. And then they will start rolling. And we're going to get to the feature just like that. That's a beautiful camera. Some issues in the back? Nope, just driver's waiting to go. Everybody playing catch up. So it is time for the feature here at Suzuka. We mentioned Laura Wiseman and Sam Stoner are going to be on the front row. Chuck Labano, Daniel Ott, Joseph Klein, Dustin Bally. First three rows as they are coming off the final corner. The pace car is in, the green flag in hand. And green flag's out. We're underway here at Suzuka.
thought we were going to see Chuck Labano make an inside move there on the leaders. Instead, he's getting swallowed up through the exit of the opening corner. Joseph Klein and Campbell were all over him.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't fall back any more. Side-by-side battle between Campbell and Bali. And Aaron Smith is already just right on the tail of Dustin Bali.
Yeah, Dustin didn't get a great start there. Lost a position right off the get-go there with Campbell. We got one way off. Laura Wiseman deep into the gravel pit.
This is your race leader.
Trying to stay in front of Samuel Stoney here, and big hop with the rear of the car. Looks like Jimmy Moore is already retired from the race. Not sure if that was just a park.
Ooh.
Oh, an incident as Dustin Bali, a big lunge into the big spoon here around Suzuka. Contact with Daniel Ott. Mentioned Smith being right on the back bumper of the 24. The 24 is trying to run away as fast as possible now.
Yeah, he is.
Ooh, up front we see Samuel Stoner continuing to run that wide line. We saw him run a little bit at the start of the feature. I mean the sprint, excuse me, that's not a preferred line.
It's Chuck Labano going to drive around on the outside line. He takes the race lead, and 3 different people held the race lead on the first lap. But it's Chuck Labano who actually leads that lap, and here comes Klein.
Yeah, Samuel Stoner is going to be really upset at himself over that issue in the chicane. Really compromised the entire run up that straightaway, but Chuck Labano twitchy off the opening corner.
So that puts Samuel Stoner right back up there battling for the race lead. And you have 5 drivers under a blanket. And Daniel Ott is right there as well. Hoopchak, Morano, those guys are all right there, and
We have issues with Aaron Smith.
he came down pit road.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I was just processing this. I was like, wait a minute, where's Aaron Smith? He was down pit road though. This is classic Aaron Smith.
Makes sense for him seeing that battle we saw up front. 4 cars within a second right now for the
Oh
lead, and we
my
see
gosh.
Joseph Klein off. I think he might have got either tagged or he just locked it up big time there because that was a big slide from the time we cut to it.
Oh, was there any
Dustin Bali
contact?
all over the
there
rear.
was.
Not much either, but just enough. Good recovery from the 14 as well. Yes, he did lose a lot of spots, but that could have been a lot worse. He only fell back to 9th, and he's 5.5 seconds back.
And everybody is still nose to tail. Practically. Look at Evan Hoopchak making a move around Daniel Ott.
Just caught another driver duck onto pit lane. Looks like it was the 323 Murano.
Yes, it was Tony Morano down pit road.
Man, excuse me, Stoner had a huge moment there in between 1 and 2. Looked like he was about to get into Labano, and it just let Ollie go on through.
There's still a lot of time left. And this race has been super chaotic. Three drivers under a blanket for the race lead. Campbell, a few car lengths behind. Upchak is still there.
Josh, I really liked that strategy Aaron Smith used, but I see another problem on the horizon. He is definitely going to start catching these guys before their pit window opens, even thinks about cracking open, because he is 3.5 seconds behind the field right now as he gets to the rear of the 54, and yeah, it's going to be nothing for him.
So yeah, and you know, I'm glad you pointed that out. This is a strategy that he's done before, and it's worked out before. But here's the problem. This track, it is narrow. It is so tough for drivers to really get a rhythm. I have no doubt that Aaron Smith has the rhythm. What about the other drivers that he's going to be around? You know, I know a person like myself. I see somebody like Aaron Smith in my mirror, and it's going to get into my head. It can lead to mistakes, which could potentially hurt Aaron Smith.
I don't want to pick on him, but because I would be doing much worse than he has done tonight, and I would have junked the car. And did we have? We did. I'll let you take this, Josh.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there. Evan Hoopchak.
That's what I thought had happened when you cut to it.
Evan Hoopchak just looks like he gassed up, got off the corner so well, and Stoner was there. And they made contact.
That's going to be huge in terms of where he merges back out into traffic way behind anyone else. As we were looking back at this, two things. Aaron Klein driving through a few cars, or at least moving back up through the pack after his incident a few laps ago. And Aaron Smith made quick work of a bunch of cars there.
Yeah.
Don't think everyone ducked down pit road, but a couple of them did. That helped, like we saw Stoner. But he definitely passed Brandon Carr this time by, and I think something happened with White on track.
Not really sure. Something just happened with Chuck Labano, though. He spun out from the race lead.
Just gonna mention, we've had 3 cars back within a second. See, the rear is already loose, Josh, entering that corner.
Oh, yeah. And the battle is on for that race lead. Look at Bali. Look at Campbell side by side.
Corner to do this, and if you're Campbell, in terms of making a quality pass, you had the opportunity there to get a little dirty with it through the center of the chicane. But like you mentioned a few minutes ago, we still got a long way to go.
We saw Campbell and Hoopchak battling for position in the sprint race. Now it's Campbell and Bali. Campbell did a great job staying patient throughout his battle with Hoopchak. Just following that 7 car.
Speaking of that 7 car,
Yeah. Evan Hoopchak himself, he's in 3rd place, not far behind.
catching with these guys battling for the lead like this. Oh, Bali ran a little wide there. Thought it was going to be a little bit more dramatic than it was. He did a great job recovering from that, not making it more dramatic. Another car way off in the dirt back there. I believe that was Klein trying to get a run at Ott. stay looking at this lead through the hairpin. We mentioned in that sprint race how Camber was able to get such good runs off almost all the corners throughout here this circuit. This is one of the best corners I think he has around here. The big spoon with a tight line. Go back to Aaron Smith, almost fighting for a top 10 spot. I think Chip Labano had another issue here, Josh. He was not far back. He was recovered into 7th, about 8 seconds behind the leaders, and now down to 10th, 20 seconds back.
Oh yeah, he's not having a good night. Laura Wiseman around.
Right in front of Smith.
Like I said, Aaron Smith, he's kind of there where issues could happen in front of him. And now he's going to be following Chuck Labano. Smith is doing a great job, though, staying patient, getting through traffic. Taking a peek here to the inside of Chuck Labano, just not close enough to do anything with it.
I think Labano is going to be a little aggressive, trying to hold off there, as we see Bali with a huge slide into turn 3, going through the S's.
I think Campbell is quicker. It's just trying to find an opportunity to get around Bali. This track, we've talked about it. You've mentioned it. It's narrow. It's going to be hard to get around somebody without really catching them on a mistake.
I think Bali has good corners, but Camber is just consistently faster around the entire circuit, around all 18 corners. As he's just trying a wide approach, trying to find something.
It's kind of like, you know, I think it's something I've heard Cameron Caldwell say before. Well, before I get to that, Campbell to the inside of Bali. He takes it. Campbell has the race lead.
Was a beautiful setup and pass. Really wide there through 14. No, that was 13. And then set him off for 14. I've talked about all night his run through that big spoon corner, and he set it up perfectly there, Josh.
He did. That was a great pass for Campbell to get the race lead and start driving away from Bali. Meanwhile, we look back here to Aaron Smith, who is still behind Chuck Labano. Is it patience, or is it that Labano might just be a little bit better in some sections that's helping keep him in front? But, well, now you got a problem. Johnny Rapp is there.
Yeah, not going to let him stay in long for long. He got blocked in there. I was going to mention when we were looking at this battle last time, Labano was going to be aggressive. He was leading just a couple laps ago before 2 spins in 2 laps. But I think he might have just lost the position out of his own hands there.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be too happy about that either.
Aaron Smith might not be too happy with that either, getting pinched in the middle of the chicane like that. Labano almost shoved the 70 through the grass in that last corner of the chicane.
But what I was going to say, mention my... I just don't think I'm going to be able to say it. There was a big lock up there out of Dustin Bali. Anyway, watching some of these battles happening and just drivers struggling to pass another. It kind of reminds me of a time at a road course where Cameron Caldwell said, "Oh, he's faster in all the wrong places." Talking about, I don't remember who, maybe Tristan Maher, where Cam was clearly the quicker driver, but I believe it was Tristan Maher had better speed in places like corner exit, just making it so hard to get around him. That's kind of what I've noticed here tonight for a lot of drivers is Bali ducks into pit road, so Evan Hoopchak could take over the second position.
First one out of our front runners so far to duck onto pit lane. Out of their own volition, I guess, if you count Stoner's pit stop.
And now we've got separation up front. And also, very importantly, Aaron Smith has nobody in front of him. It's all clean track all the way up to Aaron Bray. Just about 11 or 12 seconds ahead. This is great news for Aaron Smith.
Oh, absolutely. He's able to run in his own rhythm, like you mentioned earlier. He knows how to get around this track consistently himself for the lap time. It's just, what was it going to be like in the Hornet's Nest? And we saw there a few hairy moments, but he was able to survive, not put himself in too much jeopardy. The other drivers might have, but he got through it, and he just now needs to execute the strategy after all that.
Something else noteworthy. When Aaron Smith was down pit road, it was very clear. It was gas and go. For Dustin Bali, he took 2 tires. Bali is... quick math, 12-ish seconds behind Aaron Smith. He's got 2 fresher tires, but we've got telemetry on screen is saying 9 laps to go. Telemetry off screen that you guys don't see is saying 10 to go. And the timer is showing 16 minutes and 42 seconds. So, I don't know. Is there enough time for Bali to do anything?
I believe so. Like you mentioned, Smith not pitting for tires, or of course he didn't. He pitted on, what was that, lap 2? There wasn't a need, a sense, a desire to put on new tires for that 70 car. No point. And so, for someone like Dustin Bali, there is. They've run almost or close to half the race at this point, so might have used up your goods on at least one side of the top car. What's that going to be like for Smith? We heard in his interview he said he thought he had a good pace running around here, not abusing the tires all the way. But this, of course, the feature's longer than the sprint race. Does he overstep the boundary just a little bit? Because once the tires go off the cliff, they go off.
Something else to note, Aaron Smith is ahead of these 2 drivers, Tony Morano and Tom Wendt. However, that car that you might see in the background, now there he is, that's Dustin Bali. So 2 cars separate Smith and Bali, other than the fact that there's also quite a big gap between the 2 right now. But Bali's also going to have to deal with these 2 drivers who have been battling. There's a little bit of separation between them now. Tony Morano actually taking the 7th spot from Wendt, and now just kind of driving off. So kind of looks like there's not going to be so much of a battle. But if they do get closer and start battling, that's just going to make it that much harder for Dustin Bali when he gets up there and is ready to make some passes. Top 5 all still staying out.
Very surprised by that. I was just going to mention that myself. How about Joseph Klein, though, to be still within 6 seconds of the leader on strategy after what he went through in that opening stint?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Um, and maybe a couple of minor mistakes too that we've kind of seen in the background. For Klein to still be in the position that he's in is actually really insane. And Klein's caught my attention anyway. I've learned very quickly that Klein is a pretty good racer, and he's always up front. It still blows my mind that he's having the kind of night that he's having, and is still up here, currently running third. Something happened to Tom Wendt. He's not been down pit road yet. Because he was battling with Tony Morano. It's happened in turn 1, I believe.
Oh, man, just...
Oh,
Oh!
is that Stoner? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Stoner having to take evasive action here. Let's right on board the 65. Oh, he almost lost it himself.
Jeez.
Didn't want to drive right in the door of the Tom Wendt, and sounded it honestly like got all that marbles up on the tires and it just locked up and went straight. Straight.
So Joseph Klein has come down pit road. Campbell and
Tom Wendt is also down pit road as well after that.
Tom Wendt is off and away. Campbell and Hoopchak still have yet to come down pit road, as well as Ott and Bray. And that's it. Those 4 drivers. Top 4.
So, a couple laps ago by now, you asked me if Bali was going to do anything with that 11 second gap or deficit he had to Aaron Smith, and I said I thought he would. He's done nothing with it so far, which is a surprise to me, but it really should it be with the way we've seen Aaron Smith race these last 2 seasons?
Yes and no. Yes, because I think fresh tires are still something you want. But no, because, I mean, Aaron Smith is just on a whole nother level. That last time by, or I'm sorry, that last lap, your fastest car was Dustin Bali. Bali just crossed the line. And I see no change. It's still Ryan Campbell who has the fastest lap so far this time around. So, Bali quicker. I'm sorry, a 2:17.9 to a 2:18.6. That's not a lot. Not a lot of a difference there for Bali to be catching
and
Smith.
even if the gap wasn't 12 seconds like it is, it would still be too little too late to make anything with it.
Yeah.
He's going to have to hope Smith gets involved in something or that the tires fall off really fast all at once.
And there's under 8.5 minutes left. It's actually 8:17 left on the clock. Again, the telemetry that you guys see on screen says 5 to go. Telemetry on my second screen says 6, but I'm leaning more towards that 5 to go.
Smith is catching the 11 right now.
Yeah, remember.
One of the last drivers yet to pit.
I'm just wondering. Campbell stays out again. No, I'm sorry. No, he doesn't. Campbell's in pit road. So is it going to be a splash and go for Campbell? How about Hoopchak?
Yeah, Hoopchak also pitting. Looks like Ott is staying out, as is Bray right in front of the 70. Who's going to get past down this main straight. There we see the race off pit road. Going to be behind the 70 car. No chance.
Yeah, not at all. Campbell did take fuel only, but just not enough. Not enough of a gap.
It might be enough to keep that spot over Dustin Bally. He's going to be well clear of the 24 to stay on the racetrack. Will the tires make it, though, for Campbell?
So, Daniel Ott is the race leader. Still needed to come down pit road. Him and Aaron Bray. Ott has a 6.3 second lead. And if he's on pit road for about the same amount of time that Aaron Smith and Ryan Campbell were, that's 5.4 seconds for Aaron Smith inside his box. But that drive time down pit road automatically would put Aaron Smith in front of Daniel Ott. See what Ott does. He's bringing it into pit road. So Aaron Smith, he's going to take over the race lead for the first time tonight in the feature.
Very unconventional road to get there.
It didn't
But
come.
we heard in that interview, Josh, that he was very nervous on what was going to happen on the start in the opening couple of laps in the pack, in the traffic, being in the Hornet's Nest, and he got out really fast.
He did. I'm not surprised by that call. But I am surprised at how he still was able to work through the field, still be able to build a gap, and still be as fast as Aaron Smith usually is. It's all just impressive what Aaron Smith is able to do. And I'm not handing the win to him just yet because we've seen mistakes happen that take drivers who theoretically should win out of winning. But Aaron Smith has done a great job putting himself into position to win.
And how about Campbell right now? Keeping in touch. Not right on his back bumper, of course, but not letting him run too far away and hide like he usually would. Obviously led a lot earlier on strategy, but trying to make the most of this tonight.
Yeah, Campbell's doing a great job. And the fact that he is 3.5 seconds behind Smith is incredible. And it has to boost a lot of confidence as well to know that he can be up there. May not be battling with Smith per se, but he can be up there. He can be up front, and he's probably wishing that Aaron Smith just didn't show up tonight. And Joseph Klein, I know we've already talked about him, but still, just the fact that he is sitting in 4th position right now, he is holding off Daniel Ott currently, and about a 1.5 seconds behind Dustin Bally. With the night that he has had, I think Klein will take this.
He's not out of the woods yet, as we see Daniel and Evan Hubchak right behind him. He's, of course, contending with Dustin Bally, who went squirrely there, coming back onto this straight into the hairpin. Podium positions up for grabs here in the final moments.
Yeah, I think it's pretty crazy how tight that this battle is as well. And oh my gosh, Daniel Ott with a full head of steam there.
Yeah, completely missed the entry to turn 13. Surprised he held on to that position through turn 14. Hubchak's going to have a massive run, though, as they set up for one of the sketchiest corners in racing, turn 15 here at Suzuka.
White flag is waving for Aaron Smith. One last lap around for the 70. Here comes Klein. Does Klein have anything for Bally? Klein is going to take a peek to the inside. Not quite close enough to necessarily get to the inside, but he was peeking, and he's there.
Last step on the podium up for grabs, 13 seconds behind the next battle, or excuse me, the next position on the racetrack. These guys are giving it their all right now for P3. Oh, off course just a little bit for Bally.
You know Bali is feeling the pressure. He's looking in the mirror. He's trying to stay perfect. It was a mistake on the final lap that cost him a second place finish in the sprint race. He's really got the pressure on him now. Oh, issues for Bali. Here comes Klein to the outside. Still side by side. Klein has the inside down here. Klein drives it wide. So does Bali. Klein trying to get the power down. He's able to do so. Still running a wide line. Bali gets a little loose. But Klein will have the spot. Checkered flag is waving for Aaron Smith, who's going to win the race.
One last good opportunity here for Dustin Bali. He's going to set him up here into the chicane, way over the curbs on the inside. Get back to the inside. He got it squirrely. That done it right there, I believe, Josh. Couldn't get back to the bottom of the track in time.
What an incredible battle for that third and final podium position between Klein and Bali, with Klein taking the third spot. And you see Aaron Smith burning them down in the gravel. I think the donuts are a little dusty. Maybe that's just what we call sprinkles. Aaron Smith completely doing a power slide in the dirt. He's still burning them down, celebrating. What a night for Aaron Smith.
What a podium finish, like, in all three, with the way they had their races play out.
Oh, yeah.
How did Campbell end up within 3 seconds of Aaron Smith? That's insane. He was able to narrow down that margin little by little there over those final 2 laps as we were watching that crazy battle for third. As we talked about all night, Joseph Klein's rebound throughout the field.
Yeah, this was just an incredible night, all in all. A lot of drivers did a great job tonight. Aaron Smith, I don't think he wants to stop celebrating. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the unofficial race results. And it is Aaron Smith with the race win. Ryan Campbell finishing in second. Joseph Klein third. Dustin Bali fourth. Evan Upchak in fifth. Dan Ott sixth. Sam Stoner seventh. Tony Morano eighth. Aaron Bray ninth. And Chuck Labano finishes in 10th.
Laura Wiseman, all posted, ends up 11th with Sean Johnson in 12th. Tom Went 13th. Brandon Carr 14th. Sean Campbell finishes in 15th with Andrew White 7 laps down in 16th. Johnny Rapp is going to be scored 17th, and Jimmy Moore, I'm not sure if he DNS'd or retired after the opening lap, will be classified 18th.
And Palmerac Golf delivers classic styles and a modern fit that allow you to move seamlessly from the office to the course to hanging with friends and family. Visit PalmRedGolf.com to browse their collection of fine golf apparel, including polos, pullovers, pants, and more. So we are going to talk with our top 3 finishers. And I don't see Joseph Klein. I see Joseph Klein now. So we're going to start with him.
Although we welcome everyone to enjoy.
And give me just a moment before we do that. All right. Now I'm ready. Joseph Klein, it was a third place finish for you, and you were battling with Dustin Bally big time there at the end. What a night you had, and what a recovery. What was going through your head as this race played out?
Uh, uh, just couldn't. I just couldn't believe I got ran into there. I was like, wow. But it's okay. It happens. I understand it, and I ain't mad. It was a hard fought race for sure. I didn't really have a solid strategy for the feature because there's so many lefts and rights at Suzuka. It's not really one side dependent, so I didn't know which side tires I was gonna go with. Ultimately decided on lefts and ended up playing out pretty well at the end in the feature there. I mean, I think I was 7 seconds back of Dustin and ended up catching him.
Yeah, you mentioned taking tires, and it's something that we have seen where some drivers choose not to take tires. Is that ever something that crosses through your mind as these races play out, whether or not you want to take tires or maybe take no tires at all?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it changes in my mind like 4 times a race probably. I'm like, we'll take lefts. No, we'll take rights. No, we'll just run it out of fuel and take splash and go. So, yeah, I mean, it kind of changes based off the race, and I feel like every time I kept coming to not the carousel, the hairpin, I was seeing smoke everywhere and people spinning, and I'm like, there goes another one, and there goes another one, and we're gonna be in the lead pack here. So, yeah, it was kind of a constant mind battle for me to decide what the play was, I guess.
The battle that you had with Dustin Bally, you were right there with him. Uh, what was going through your mind, just even with the battle with him, racing so tight together?
I knew he pitted way earlier, so I figured if I had stayed out, yeah, at least one, if not 2 laps more, then ultimately there's a weird thing with the tires where, and we were just talking about it in the waiting room, um, like lap 1.5, it just starts to like fall off really hard for tire wear, and then it kind of plateaus, and you don't you don't really get like full grip back, but at least enough to where times don't really change all that much. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of figured tire wear might be a little bit worse, but it really wasn't. So the battle with Dustin, I don't know. I just wanted to catch back up to him, and I did kind of get into him through the end of the S's, but it was just a little love tap, and I had already got one, so figured he had earned that one.
Sponsors, shout outs, who gets it done for you?
I'll give a shout out to, even though it's a fixed setup, but Race CPI. And shout out my dogs for crew chiefing on the floor.
All right. Well, congrats on the podium, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
That was Joseph Klein, our third place finisher. Adam, I believe you've caught up with Ryan Campbell.
Yeah, over here with Ryan, runner-up finish, got to the podium, led a lot of laps there at the end, but it was a splash and dash to the checkered flag for you, Ryan.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah, that was a tough one and a fun one.
Walk us through your entire night. A lot of incidents early on in both the main event and the sprint race. Chaos a lot at the beginning, and then it just kind of spread out. It seemed to, but the intensity was still up all the way to the end of these races with the battles on track.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this track and car combo is it's a tough one for sure. But I just focused on tire saving and driving clean, and it ended up working. So these tires are really great. They kind of just settle in and then hold a consistent pace.
When everything settled out at the start of the feature, were you just anticipating running as long as you did, or did it just kind of come to you the way the race had played out there?
Yeah, I mean, for the pit stop, I was debating up until my pit stop basically if I was going to take tires or not, but they kept an even pace in the 16s there, so I just stuck it out and it worked quite well.
Did you have any idea in your mind there at the end, last couple laps running down the 70 little by little? You think you had enough for him there?
I think toward the end of that last lap, I was taking a little bit of time out of him, but I mean that's Aaron Smith. He's quite fast, so he had the right strategy this race. Pitting early, getting out of traffic, and just running a bunch of clean laps was definitely a deciding factor.
Going back to the sprint real quick, you and the 24 had a really fun battle for me to watch. I had a lot of fun watching your lines around the entire track. Opposed to his, it looked like you were just going anywhere that he wasn't. What was that like, just trying to find different grooves around this narrow racetrack?
Oh yeah, especially through the S's on this track, it's really fun to just try and move the car around, get a better drive out of one corner, force the driver to take a tight line maybe into the next. It's the cars, they battled here better than I thought they would. It was a lot of fun.
I agree with that for sure. Do you have any shout-outs and sponsors? Who gets it done for you after a podium result here tonight?
Oh yeah, that's got to be Tom Went over at TW3 Liveries. He made the paint for my car, the Screaming Eagle car. He's the best.
All right, good luck next week. Thanks for your time, and congrats on the run tonight, Ryan.
Thank you.
That was our runner-up tonight, Ryan Campbell, finishing second in the number 18 car. Now, Josh has made his way to victory lane to meet a very familiar face.
And that would be Aaron Smith, the race winner here tonight. Aaron, you won the sprint race, and you said that, well, you might be a little bit scared for the feature. You pit right away. Is that just what you thought was going to be the easiest way to get out of the immediate chaos and then just kind of slowly work your way up to the front?
Yes, if you get stuck in traffic at a track like this, you get stuck in traffic. Because I'm not that great on offense, I will admit, like diving down the inside. It's not a thing that I like to do. So I wanted to take myself out of that situation as much as I could. And I caught up to the back of the field a lot sooner than I was hoping. It was like a lap and a half into my run. So I had to get as much as I could in those first couple laps and work from there. Try to be as smooth as possible, pass everybody seamlessly. And I had a few hiccups here and there, but it was just enough to be able to win there.
Now, as you were catching cars throughout the field, um, what were you thinking about? Obviously it was just get through them or get around them quickly enough, but as you approached each driver, was it something else that you were thinking of to try to get around them?
Yeah, it was all about putting myself in as good of a position as I could to pass them without deviating from my racing line. Like I knew that people were going to miss shifts. I knew they were going to brake early. They were going to miss the corners or run a different line and do all that stuff. So I had to think about that, think about who I was catching up to, and just act accordingly. And I'd say it worked out fairly well. Like I said, there were a few folks who could hold their line well enough to kind of keep me at bay. But eventually they would make a mistake, and I'd be able to capitalize. So fortunately, I was able to get just enough time in there to outdo Ryan there in that last pit stop.
Well, sponsor shout outs. Who gets it done for that winning number 70?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the folks at Road and Plate for putting up with me. I don't know how many wins this is now. I think it's like 45 or something. So I'll keep doing it until they kick me out. I'd like to thank the folks at Palm Rat Golf for supporting the championship, as always. And y'all for broadcasting, all the folks for watching. Looking forward to getting back at it whenever I show up next. And hopefully that'll be next week.
All right. Well, congrats on yet another win, and I'm not exactly sure where it is either. Last I knew it was 42, but I can't quite remember how many it's been since then. But just incredible stats either way. So congrats to you on continuing to add on to those numbers.
10-4. Thank you.
Have a great night. And that was Aaron Smith, your race winner here at Suzuka. And so, Adam, what'd you think about this race here tonight?
I have to agree with what Ryan said in our interview. This was a lot more racy than I anticipated. I feel like we say this every single week when it comes to the battles throughout the field. Yes, I know they're exciting, but throughout that middle proportion of that sprint race, we kind of got bogged down there for a moment. And I thought it was going to repeat in that feature where the intensity was up the entire time with the split strategies and trying to just negotiate, for Aaron Smith's case, him going through the field. So a lot to keep up with all night tonight.
Yeah, it was another incredible night, and just like you said, this race, it had its exciting moments. It had what felt like it was going to be just kind of one of those other races, but all in all, these guys did not disappoint with a great show. And that's 2 down here in Japan. Still 1 more to go as we look at the schedule. And next it is Fuji Speedway, which is next week on the 19th. As you see the schedule there on your screen, and then right after that, it's right back to Daytona, where that should be an exciting race. A lot of great tracks coming up. Fuji, Daytona, Mid-Ohio, Talladega, and Adelaide, which I have learned is in Australia, by the way. So, a lot of great races to look forward to coming up. And I can't believe there are only 5 races left before we crown a champion. But some things to look forward to, for sure. And I think that's going to do it from us here at Suzuka, right here on JCTV. So, with that being said, congrats to Aaron Smith on his sprint race win and feature race win. Another incredible performance out of that 70 Banana Mobile. And on behalf of Adam Kuhn and the entire outstanding crew, I'm Joshua Coppernoll signing off, saying so long, stay safe, and we will see you next time. Take care.